Hi, today I'm going to share about the lyrical learning activity and lesson planning. So first things first, I'm excited to see you all next week on Zoom. Super excited. So we are going to be meeting on Zoom next Thursday. I can't wait to see everyone. So don't forget that. So mark your calendars, all right? And I'm excited to see your lyrical learning activity. So the lyrical learning is a chant that connects the content with the chanting part, the music. So you're gonna be tapping into knowledge of students that are very musical. If you're not very musical, you're gonna have to try to be a little bit, because as teachers, we have to be a little bit of a performer, a little bit of, everything. I already recorded mine and I posted already, so it should be ready for you to see, for you to watch. So it's already there in our Google Classroom. Um, I'm going to talk about what we're going to be doing next week. So this week, your job is to use the template that I posted in the Google Classroom. It's a blank template. It's the template that is given to you. Hopefully it hasn't changed much. If there is one that is more updated, please use that one. I'm using the latest one that was given to me. If you have a better one, please use that. I'm okay with that. If you want to use the ELL version 2 that has the domains of language, please use that. I'm not opposed to that. And if you have one lesson plan that is already kind of pre-made, use this lesson plan and kind of revamp it a little bit, all right? I want you to be thinking about how you're going to do a lesson plan in connecting literature. Okay, I'm going to explain that in a bit. So looking at our schedule, today I want you to be thinking about doing the lyrical learning recordings, okay? And then I want you to be doing the literature integrated lesson plan. Okay, that's the idea for this week. Please post all your other chapters, all the other summaries that you haven't done yet, if you haven't done those, and post to Flipgrid all your inquiry questions, all right? If you're behind, please do that as soon as possible. Now, next week is class 9, okay? We're going to be meeting on Zoom, and we're gonna have a class discussion, reading discussion, right? Please read chapters 9, 10, and 11 of the book. Okay, we're gonna be discussing those 3 chapters. So read chapters 9, 10, and 11 for next week. Okay, so be on time with that reading. So chapters 9, 10, 11, and do the lesson plan. So I need a lesson plan with content integration of literature. What that means is you're going to be using your template right here that I have for you. Okay, you've seen this several times. You probably are so tired of it already. You're like, oh my goodness, another one. Use one that you already have. But I want you to be thinking about how you're going to integrate a little bit more of like literature, as far as like maybe like a book that could be poetry. How can you incorporate poetry? How can you incorporate prose? How can you incorporate maybe like let me think, a book that rhyme, like with the content. Maybe it could be a social studies book. A unit that is a social studies unit. It could be science, but you think about a literature that, like a book that would connect like that literacy piece with that. It could be a Dr. Seuss inspired lesson plan. All right. What else? Let me share my other lesson here. Let me see if this is the one. Yes. right there. And then I also shared in our Google Classroom, I shared this one. This one is an example of a fourth grade lesson plan. It's a social studies one, but I really love it because it's great. It has standards for social studies and writing and speaking and listening and ELPs, and also, so content targets, language targets right here. But it's all about writing a narrative and diaries for the pioneers. But look, how cool is that? It has the rubrics and has all that, but it's an easy one to think about. How could you add poetry? How could you add books to this unit about pioneers going west on the Oregon Trail? Lesson of vocabulary. Look at that. Okay, like this one, westward to home is one of those right here. One of the ideas of adding that piece of literature to it. Look at that. And this is already in our Google Classroom. So please go ahead and go there and check it out, okay? The campfire stories. See, Jeopardy game. So there's a very good example of a unit, like a whole segment, a lesson segment for you. So here we go. Now, I want you to be thinking about how you can actually do this, all right? I want you to be thinking about how can you just, you know, be creative about adding that piece of literature there. Could you, how can you like think about a cool topic for your lesson that could be anything and add a very cool reading and writing connection, especially reading in this particular, for this particular integration, okay? One of the books that I like to use for some of the other classes that I teach, I like to use this book. It's called The Content Area Reading, Literacy and Learning Across the Curriculum. I know our class is about integration. If I were to suggest a book for this class, I know we use the Academic Conversations, right? It's a great book. I really like it because it talks about academic conversations and how we can prompt, you know, oral language and all that. It's all this book is about, right? But, excuse me. Excuse me, it's late. How can you, now I think that that's the main thing. We are adding oral language through, for example, lyrical learning, but how can you add reading and writing into your units and be very purposeful about that? So let's say I'm doing a unit about salmon, okay? The salmon release I'm gonna be doing at the Sacagawea Park once a year with my fourth graders. That's something that I used to do every year when I taught fourth grade, right? So I'm gonna go like, let me go live right now. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna go to Amazon. Let me move my bar. I'm gonna go to Amazon right here, and I'm going to find a quick book right here. Let me see if you can still see my, you can, yes. I'm gonna try salmon books for children, for kids. And I would try to find, for example, books about salmon. I would find, for example, this book right here would be one I would have in my classroom about salmon going from the river all the way to the ocean, back to the ocean, because they do that once a year. That would be an example. Let's see. Excuse me. Oh, this one I actually had in my classroom. This one, the life cycle of a salmon. This one I had in my classroom. This one was actually very, very good. So the life cycle of a salmon, right there. This book was excellent. So that's like a literacy connection. This is more of a like a nonfiction. So I would add a fiction, a poem, some poetry. So lyrical learning would be like a kind of a poem, a chant. So how can you add that to your unit? So write a quick lesson plan for me. Try to make it not too quick and not too empty. You know, that lesson plan template. Don't make it too empty. Make it awesome. Okay, if you look at the example, I have lots of images. I always like to copy paste images. I'm a very visual learner, and I think everybody is a visual learner. You know, it always helps to see. That's why students always say, can you show me an example? It's because you always need an example. And you as a learner, if I didn't have examples to show you, you'd be like, Angela, can you show me an example? It's because you want to see it. So add examples and images of what you're doing into your lesson plan. I know it takes time, but just do a really good job, because then you don't have to do it twice, or I don't have to ask you questions. So that way you're like, oh, it's all done, you know. So try to do a very good job. Do something that you've done before, but better. Just add images, add cool things. This one, for example, a salmon for Simon. This one, I can tell it's not a nonfiction book. This is a fiction book, and it's a book about, let's see. All summer, Simon had been fishing for a salmon. It's the king of the fishes, he told his sisters. We know, they said. That's why great grandmother calls it Sukai. So like it's gonna be connecting probably some sort of Native American um, story, which is awesome. So you can also be connecting other cultures there. Anything multicultural would be phenomenal there. Any bilingual books would be very welcome here. Anything of that kind. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. So if you're teaching science, you're teaching about salmon, try to find a connection with maybe a nonfiction, and then also like a fiction book like this. Story about this boy going fishing, and then getting connected with a tribe, and then like a story of sorts that you can pull vocabulary from. You can find listening and speaking standards for the students to be doing presentations and talking about things and connecting with the story and then the topic. So it's pretty cool. Look at that. Right? Very, very, very cool. Okay, so I am thinking that is it for me. I am going to be answering any questions you have. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I hope that you just saw the screen that I shared. I was just trying to see if I actually let me see, stop share. I hope so. I don't know if you saw my screen. I hope you did. I don't know. It wasn't showing at my end. But I hope you did. That's why I was like looking at the screen kind of confused. But anyway, I was just hoping that you you understood what I was trying to say about the literacy, literature connection. Next week, when we come together as a class on Zoom, I want us to, okay, number one, we're going to discuss the chapters that I told you to read, which are chapters, let me go back to our thing, read chapters 9, 10, and 11, and then do the outlines for those, okay? 9, 10, 11, outline inquiry questions. We're gonna use the inquiry questions to prompt our conversations, so read those, and then do those. Then we're going to share our lesson plans. The lesson plans need to be done by Wednesday before class so that you have time to be done with that. They can be done in groups of 2 or 3 or individually, okay? And then we're going to share those and be ready to share one part of that lesson. So you're gonna present that lesson plan to the class, okay? You can do a little PowerPoint to present with to the class. You can try to illustrate it somehow. You can also do a part of the activity in breakout rooms. You can get creative with how you're gonna share that with the class. So the expectation is that you share your lesson plan with the students in class next week on Zoom. Okay, so you're going to, number one, read chapters 9, 10, 11, do the inquiry questions and outlines. Turn those in by Wednesday before we meet next week so that you have that done. Then we're going to discuss those questions in class. Okay, do all the late homework too if you have some. Okay, if not, you're good to go. Then you're going to create the lesson plan that I had already hinted last week during the videos. So if you've been watching and following along, you're on track. You're going to create a quick lesson plan, not too quick. Well done. You can use something that you had before and make it better in groups of 2 or 3 or individually. You're going to create a lesson plan, having an integration with literacy / literature, kind of like I explained before. I just did. And you're going to present it to the class, but prepare something for about 10-minute, 15-minute presentation. Talk about the components of your lesson plan. You can prepare a PowerPoint. You can prepare an activity for everybody to participate. You can actually teach a part of your lesson. All right, and then you're going to turn that in by next class. So because you have to present it, okay? You can like actually surprise us with something amazing. Present it nice, like, practice your teaching with us. Okay, I'm super excited to see the lyrical learning activities. So there's a Padlet link. The Padlet link is worth 100 points for you to actually post on that wall that I created, and then 25 points for you to actually do the lyrical learning, which is you actually singing, and I modeled that for you today. I can't wait to see you, and I hope you're having a great week. I really want to go back and look at your flip grids for the questions for the previous chapters. Only 6 of you have posted so far, and so keep up with that, please. I've been watching them and I've been checking, so please do that. And I have been grading slowly, but I will now finish grading and I'll be posting a grade on our page, okay, for you, so that you know where you're at with your grading. We're gearing towards like halfway through, so I think you guys are fabulous. We've been doing great, and I know you have a lot going on, so I get it. Hope your placements have been great as well, and I know you've been busy more than ever, and I get it. I know. Okay, have a fabulous week, and I'll see you on Thursday. If you have any questions, ask. Okay, let me know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.